All right, next game, Broncos at the Raiders. This line opened up Raiders -4. It's up to 5.5. So who do you like here?
I'm leaning on the Broncos in this one. I'm not going to bet this one yet because they do have some stacked injuries at cornerback. AJ Boye and Bryce Callahan are both missed last week, which had a massive impact against the Falcons. And you already hit on their defensive line earlier. So tons of injuries on defense. But I still think that the Broncos are a solid team if they're all healthy. And the Raiders don't have a very good defense. And the Raiders really almost lost to the Chargers last week. And frankly, if either Donald Parham or if Mike Williams catches that touchdown, this line probably doesn't move as much as it did. I think people are focusing a little bit too much on Denver because they were getting crushed by Atlanta. And people think Atlanta's an awful team. And they're not good on, they still have a good offense, Atlanta. So I think the Broncos are going to be able to stay in this game. I think the Raiders, there's a little bit of a look ahead possibility. I know this is a divisional rivalry game, so they probably won't be looking that far ahead, but they have a chance to sweep the Chiefs, and they're playing the Chiefs next week. So they could get it in their head of like, oh, Denver's not that good and they're banged up. Like, we'll handle them, and then we get to take on the Chiefs. And if we beat them, we might be in the divisional race here. So there's a little bit of that motivation that I think could work against them. And the key for the Broncos is, can Drew Lock play well outside of the fourth quarter in garbage time? I think that he has the skills needed to do that. It's just about showing that he can. But where this spread is almost up to 6, I definitely like Denver if they get healthy. If they don't get healthy, though, I'll probably switch my pick. So this is a no bet for me right now, but I'm leaning on the Broncos.
Yeah, it would help if Locke didn't run back in the pocket like all the time, like even when there's no pressure. It's like, where are you going? Like this, I don't understand like why he's doing that. Like he really needs to be coached up. But you're right, he has the talent. Like he's great arm talent for sure and some mobility, but he can't. I don't think he's ready to play yet. Like he needs to be coached up by like a great quarterbacks coach. But it was at least nice that like Jerry Jeudy got off, with a good game, and then Tim Patrick had some nice catches at the end. So I think that the foundation is there for Denver. I just don't think Locke is ready for like prime time yet. Like he can beat some bad teams, but I don't know. Like I just don't know if he can take advantage of the Raiders' weaknesses. Like the Raiders are a lot like Atlanta. At least their defenses. Like they're good against the run. But they're not that good against the pass because they don't really have much of a pass rush, and their secondary isn't that very good. So it's kind of like the same exact like game as we just saw. I think the difference would be is if Denver's defensive line comes back, like they were missing their entire defensive line against Atlanta. So they could just do nothing to stop the Falcons. And then they were missing the top 2 cornerbacks as well. So we won't know. Like we didn't know about Bryce Callahan until the inactives came out, which is unfortunate. But we probably will know about the defensive line. So if like their entire defensive line's out, I feel like the Raiders can just overpower them and just score on every possession, kind of like Atlanta did last week. But if they get some defensive linemen back, suddenly they'll be able to get some stops. They should do a lot better against the run, and they'll be able to get some pressure on Derek Carr, especially if Trent Brown can't come back. So it really, the injury report is huge here. Like, and I'm like kind of kicking myself for not really seeing this last week. So yeah, like right now I'm leaning toward the Raiders, but I might change my pick definitely. So check back on the site on Saturday for any updates.
Yeah, no, I'm kicking myself too because I saw Bouye and Callahan were out on game day, and I hadn't bet that game officially yet. And I was like, oh, maybe I should bet Atlanta now and switch my pick. And I was like, no, it's too late for me to switch my pick. Like that's bad karma. And it never is. Like, just switch the pick.
Yeah.
You're wrong in like 90% of the time if you switch or don't switch, though. So you
true.
Almost never be right.
I know. Yeah. It's like the deal or no deal. Do you want to switch the case? Like you're supposed to switch the case, but I feel like when you switch the NFL pick, you're always going to be wrong. Like that I don't know why that is, but it always is. But yeah, we should have switched it. But I guess as Cam Newton once said, hindsight's 50-50.